And I'm Danielle Baza.
It is 6:17 a.m. on this Monday, the 22nd of August, 2022. And when we come back, we're going to bring you our top stories, including the latest in the trial of Nicholas Moore, the sentencing of a police officer, Doug Moylan's take on crime, and Congresswoman Tina Sablan's call for people to be truthful about public corruption as they're being investigated by federal authorities when we come back from this commercial break.
We want to personally invite you to visit our beautiful island. Warm weather and warm smiles are waiting for you here.
While there is a global concern for the 2019 novel coronavirus, we want to assure you that we have layers of defense, starting with our airlines and our airport to keep everyone healthy and safe. As of today, we have no confirmed cases of coronavirus on the island.
We are excited for you to explore and experience our island paradise. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Doesn't need to be a lawyer to see something's not right with the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration's emergency procurement handled by Governor's legal counsel, Hai Hyun.
I've never heard of verbal agreement, by the way, as a governor, and I've been 20 years in public office as a senator and a governor. I've never heard of a verbal agreement in any government capacity, which it seems to have occurred in this pandemic. And it seems like the paperwork is catching up after the verbal.
GURA Executive Director Ray Tapasnia says Guam's homeless numbers for 2018 were at 854, or 51 in 10,000, putting our per capita ranking at second.
But more importantly, when the hell are we going to start tourism up again?
Look how we were discussing about the ARP, and one of the things that we wanted is for the governors to have discretionary power over the ARP, and that happened, right? We were given, and I'll tell you, my senators in Guam are very upset because they cannot appropriate the $596 million that was given to us. I'm going to first fix the roof. Make sure the roof is okay, all the windows are caulked so there's no leakage.
Calvo calling out Adelup Communications Director Janela Carrera for muting the media, saying elected leaders must answer tough questions. He added that Adelup's messaging during this COVID crisis leaves much to be desired.
I have authority to take money. I have authority to take property. I have authority to move personnel wherever I feel they are needed to be. So yes, we would have to, basically you have no say.
I'm Michael F. Houston-Nicholas, and I approve this message.
Now I would like to introduce the future of our island, Mr. Mike St. Nicholas.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so proud to be up here because from this angle I can see a whole ocean of our island's people standing in support of the one man that has been supporting us in Washington. What does it take to be in charge? It takes power. But power does not equal greatness. Greatness can only be achieved with a good heart.
As you go to cast your vote, ask yourself this question. Do you want a leader that gives you hope or hopelessness?
Like, people don't fully understand what we go through and the judgment that is passed upon us. Sooner or later, the stress gets to you.
Being homeless is hard, man. You gotta focus and try hard.
There's a difference between hopelessness and discussing the realities our people are facing. Discussing them with passion, discussing them pragmatically, discussing them with experts, discussing them with the public. Adopting a philosophy of hope because we want 4 more years is the same politics we've been having, guys. It's the same politics we've been having. And that's why we're still debating these same issues. It's not hopelessness to talk about what the people are experiencing. It's not hopelessness to talk about the struggles of our community. It's not hopelessness to talk about what we need to plan and prepare for and the realities that are associated with that. Those kind of real conversations from real people, those are the kind of things that give me hope.
Mr. President, on this island we judge our leaders by the way they serve the people.
In 4 years, we did so much that many of us didn't really believe could get done. We were able to resolve congressional issues. It doesn't take 2 terms to fix things. If you go in there with the focus, if you go in there with the purpose, and if you make the people be the whole reason why you're doing the work that you do. We and I were willing to make this sacrifice if you will so have us. So we humbly ask for your support. Let's change course, Guam, and let's build a real future.
Welcome back. The prosecution in the Nicholas Moore trial, where he is accused of shooting Brian Mendiola in the leg the night of October 15, 2020, is struggling to tie forensic evidence to Mr. Moore and having a hard time finding its own witnesses to bring to the stand. On Friday, Judge Alberto Tolentino had the jury wait nearly 2 hours while the Attorney General's office waited in vain for one police detective to be approved to testify and another police officer to actually arrive at court. The judge eventually apologized to the jury, then asked them to come back today at 9 a.m., where prosecutors hope to call one of its 2 star witnesses to the stand, the victim, Brian Mendiola. But there was a problem as of the week's end. No one could find him. The AG's other star witness, Curtis Garrido, also has been missing in action from the trial as of Friday. Mr. Garrido, who was an eyewitness to the shooting and who identified Mr. Moore's original co-defendant, Eric Salone, as the actual shooter, was supposed to testify Tuesday. When he failed to appear, Judge Tolentino issued a warrant for his arrest. Marshals and police reportedly have been looking for him since. Friday's problems followed prosecutors' Thursday attempt to tie the case's key piece of forensic evidence to Mr. Moore when an ammo shop owner and a GRMC laboratory supervisor were called to testify. While prosecutors were able to show the jury an August 2020 receipt from Bargain Tactical in Harmon that shows Mr. Moore purchased a box of 38 special caliber bullets, the store's co-owner and woman who sold the bullets said she does not remember Mr. Moore at all and that it is possible the receipt may have been altered. As for the GRMC supervisor who testified about a bullet that was removed from Mr. Mendiola's leg the day after the shooting, but processed and given to police a month later, prosecutors were unable to lay a foundation to show the jury medical records. Mr. Moore's defense in the case is that he wasn't the shooter, Eric Salone was, and that the Attorney General is letting the wrong man go free. Mr. Salone was offered his freedom in exchange for his testimony against Mr. Moore.
Judge Vern Paris sentenced Paul John Santos, a former police officer convicted of raping a woman at a Tamuning hotel in 2014, to 15 years at the Department of Corrections. At trial, the victim testified that Santos came to her hotel room wearing his GPD uniform, told her she could go to jail for prostitution, and that he could take her to jail and she'd never see her family again. The victim also testified that Santos forced her to perform oral sex, forced her to have sex with him, and then told her that he was doing her a favor and that she should be grateful because he was doing her a favor. The jury found Santos guilty of multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct, bribery, official misconduct, and abetting prostitution. He was sentenced in April 2017 to 21 years incarceration for his crimes. In an opinion issued in April 2020, the Superior Court of Guam vacated 3 of the convictions but upheld the remaining charges. He must self-surrender on September 15, 2022. Prosecutor Lenny Rapadas handled the hearing Friday. He said, "We are glad to see this case come to end after so many years and pray that it will provide closure to the victim."
A pair of men were captured on home surveillance camera on Wistig Road Friday, running toward the home, then appearing to burglarize it, allegedly. The home reportedly was burglarized. Guam's first elected Attorney General and the man challenging Levin Camacho for the seat replied to the posting, "A strong AG being able to put together and keep a team of dedicated prosecutors, work with GPD and the victims, and get our juries to convict, then seeking the maximum punishment from judges will deter and send the clear message to others of the harsh consequences of their criminality. I remain the toughest AG on crime and will bring that type of prosecution back if elected. If elected, we will bring back those dedicated prosecutors and work with DOC to imprison the criminals. Right now, the AG is incapable of effectively prosecuting crimes since more than half of the 21 prosecutors left his office. Relief, recovery, and reform are the first order of business if our team is elected. Criminal prosecution and protecting the community is the first priority," Mr. Moylan said.
CNMI House Congresswoman Tina Sablan, who is running for governor, issued a statement following Kandit's breaking story about multiple visits by Federal Bureau of Investigation agents to members of the Commonwealth Legislature and the Torres administration. Her statement in full reads, "Although it is not publicly known yet who or what the targets of the federal investigation are, I think it is reasonable to surmise that the case or cases involve public corruption, based on the number of government officials and agencies that have been visited this week and the questions that have been asked. My sense from everything I have seen and heard is that this is the latest milestone in an extensive investigation that has been developing for quite some time now. My only comment at this juncture is to encourage everyone who has received a subpoena or been asked for an interview to give their full cooperation and tell the truth. I also encourage those who may not have been approached yet and who have information that may be helpful to investigators to reach out to the FBI as soon as possible. Public corruption is a cancer that has afflicted our government for far too long, and it will take the commitment and cooperation of our whole community to bring about a just and honest government that is worthy of our trust."
Those are your top stories in Kandit this morning. When we come back from this short commercial break, we're going to talk about, it's election week. So we're going to talk about the election. We're going to talk about a story that Isaac is going to be covering this afternoon for us, the visit of the Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the Nicholas Moore trial that we'll be covering, and a special shout out to a special friend of ours when we come back from the short commercial break.
A great humanitarian once said that the difference between a career politician and a leader is the politician cares about the number of years served, and the leader just cares about serving. This defines Senator Chris Duenas. He is a seasoned statesman whose focus has always been on being a champion for the masses and a fighter for the truth. Re-elect Senator Chris Duenas, speaking up for you.
I am Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Edward Alvarez, Treasurer.
Bottom line is we're gonna make you a better person. You're gonna be healthier and fitter than you were before.
Huff Day. I'm Will Parkinson, and I'm standing in the bush. I'm standing in the bush because I want to be your senator. Before I ran for senator, I was actually involved in the legalization of this bush. I was one of the original advocates that supported Senator Clint Rogel when he legalized this bush. And if you elect me senator, I promise I will make sure no one ever makes this bush illegal ever again. So please, vote for me, Will Parkinson, number 8 on the ballot. Thank you.
And I'm Will Parkinson, and I endorse this message.
That's great. Like, hopefully the baddest guy in Junior doesn't find me. This is from his house.
As a defense attorney, I've represented many people who, if they weren't poor or they had received a higher education, may have taken a different path. As senator, I will propose a scholarship for those whose struggles are less academic and more financial. Let's keep our university full, not our prison. I'm Thomas Fisher. I not only approve this message, I wrote it.
Paid for by Tom for Guam. Drake Diaz, Treasurer.
Welcome back. You know, you've got to love political season. And we'll talk about the election coverage for this week in just a second. But just because we're coming off of that Will Parkinson commercial, that's got to be my favorite commercial. There's of course the backstory is what we're not playing as commercials. But so Will Parkinson did a commercial where he said he was standing near a bush and it was raining and he's putting up his signs, and you know that shows his commitment to the people of Guam. And so a bunch of people, it just became viral. A bunch of people started doing the standing behind a bush commercial. And the guy, like a champ, he comes back and he talks about this bush, and it's part of his platform. You know, the making sure that adult use cannabis remains legal and getting that whole, which by the way has been a complete and utter failure on Guam. The inability for the government of Guam to get both medicinal and adult use cannabis industries off the ground. I have my suspicions as to what is happening and why it's taking so long and why the government of Guam, you know. Oh, by the way, is Eric's microphone on so he can riff with us? Is that Is it a pository?
Hello.
Thanks. And so it reminds me. So my favorite commercials. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
I've had some favorite commercials over the years. The first was the Rufo Lujan commercial. Remember, the keeping the government in check, and it was just such a. And then I think the one after that I really appreciated or that I really thought was funny was the Pick Mo Cotton commercial. Or not, it wasn't a commercial; it was a billboard. There's another commercial I just can't remember. Anyway, there have been some good commercials over the years.
When Tony Lamarena.
The Macarena, the Lamarena, yeah.
See Lamarena.
So on to more serious. So it's a full day of news for us. Johnny, of course, is preparing for the 3 to 4 o'clock. It just depends what time we get the magistrate's reports and the daily crime report. I will be at trial, at the Nicholas Moore trial, which begins again at 9 a.m. And Judge Tolentino said it's going to last the whole day. So I'm going to be extremely tired. I'm very likely going to fall asleep on that very uncomfortable bench in the Superior Court, and someone's going to have to rattle their keys to wake me up before the judge coplas me for sleeping in his courtroom. Which I, Your Honor, if you're watching, I'm just kidding. I would never sleep in your courtroom.
I like Vern Paris.
No, it's Judge Alberto Tolentino.
Oh, he's cool too.
Yeah.
I like his voice.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Don't do that again, okay? You know you're supposed to be here.
At 4:30, Zach is going to Adeloop. I'm sorry. First, Eric. So Eric has been working on these. He's the one that put together that 4 more years spot, and he doesn't know it yet. But we had a conversation spiritually already this morning. Where I want him to put together another one. Are you a trooper? Are we good to go?
Amen.
Because we're missing crime, education. These are important subjects that our people need to be reminded of as we go on to the election. We'll talk about that in a second. But at 4:30 or 4, Zach, Isaac Nurba-Bull, 4:30 is going to be at Adeloop, covering the visit of Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs Donald Ramey, and this was a few days ago that Congressman Mike Nicholas announced the visit by this very important official. He said, "We are excited to welcome Deputy Secretary Ramey, who will be accompanying on-site visits to our Guam VA Clinic, Veterans Center, and Benefits Intake Center." I think at 1:30 p.m. today or 1:45, the Deputy Secretary is going to be at the VA Clinic. Is that over here at Naval Hospital, right? It's just like...
They've moved the meeting, actually. I sent the email. It's at the governor's complex.
Oh, no, this is the second one. This is a 1:45.
Oh, okay.
So this is another meeting that is happening.
Oh, wow.
That is happening. So 4:30 is going to be at the governor's complex. I did see that change, and thank you. Okay. That change in venue. Where was it supposed to be before? I don't remember. Naval Station? Oh, at Naval Hospital. So there's that. The Nicholas Moore trial starts at 9 o'clock this morning. I'll be there. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to push out a story or even discuss it in a live show. Mondays, we're normally very saturated with live shows, so it's very likely I won't go live about it. So maybe we'll bring you the latest in that coverage tomorrow morning during this show. And now, it's election week. Yes. The election is this weekend. Did any of you go to early vote? No? Did you early vote, Chalu? No? I didn't early vote either. So honestly, I just don't trust it.
That's why I don't. I'm just listening to you. I'm just listening.
It's not that I don't trust the Guam Election Commission. I do. I trust the Guam Election Commission and the professionals over there, led by Maria Pangilinan. I don't know. I don't. I just don't trust the people in power, is what I'm saying. I don't trust the people in power I'm talking about the political establishment.
Word.
But it's this Saturday, and this is a very different kind of primary election. There is a serious challenge to the incumbent, and there has never been a time when there has actually been a serious challenge to the incumbent governor in the same party. And so... for you voters out there, whether you support the incumbent governor or you don't support the incumbent governor, you support her challenger, or even if you support Felix Camacho, this primary election this Saturday is your real opportunity to express your voice in this election. Because if you support Governor Lulian Guerrero, you want to get out there and you want to vote for her to ensure that Michael San Nicolas does not kick her out of office in a primary election. If you support Michael San Nicolas for governor, this is your opportunity to kick out the incumbent governor and to move Michael San Nicolas forward. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you support Felix Camacho for governor, you don't necessarily have to vote for him in the Republican primary. He doesn't have a challenger. He does have to meet a threshold of votes. But as Dr. Ron McNinch has talked about quite a bit, you could vote in the Democratic primary. And you could vote for, if you want to see an election between him and Michael San Nicolas, rather than Felix Camacho and Lulian Guerrero, you could vote in the Democratic primary for Michael St. Nicholas, and vice versa. If you want to see Governor Camacho go up against Governor Lulian Guerrero, then whatever, right? You make that decision as voters, and you can make that decision on August 27. What do you know? What time to what time the election is?
That paper's on your there.
This is the. So as of July 25, there are 57,020 registered voters. We don't. This sheet doesn't have the election times, but if you're a voter, this is a. I don't know if you want to put up the
JPEG.
this list, Ole. If you vote in Agania, your polling site is the Guam Congress Building, Asin Maina. Oh, the election starts at 7 a.m. this Saturday, and it ends at, is it 8 p.m.?
It doesn't say. It just says at 7, 4 days left, 7 a.m.
So the election, this primary election begins at 7 a.m. this coming Saturday. We'll try to get you the end time, which is we'll try to get you that information very soon. If you vote in Asin Maina, it's the Asin Maina Community Center. If you vote in PD, it's Jose Rios Middle. In Agate, Ocean View Middle. In Santa Rita, Harry S. Truman Elementary. In Umatic, it's the Umatic Mayor's Office. In Maritzo, it's Maritzo Martyrs Elementary. In Inarajan, it's Inarajan Middle. Talafofo, it's Talafofo Elementary. In Jonya, it's MU Lujan. In Ordot Chalampago, it's Ordot Chalampago Elementary School. In Sinahanya, it's CL Titano. In Agania Heights, it's Agania Heights Elementary School. In MTM, it's JQ San Miguel Elementary. In Barragata, it's PC Lujan Elementary, not Untalan. I know in years past it was at Untalan. Well, now it's at PC Lujan Elementary. In Manila, it's at GW High School, and not UOG. I know before it was at UOG, but so now it's moved to George Washington. In Tamuning, it's at JFK, not Tamuning Elementary School. It's at JFK High School, okay? In Dededo, it's at, there are 2 polling stations in Dededo. Okudu High School and Liguan Elementary, okay? Again, so these are changes from years past. If you voted in years past, you know, I can't remember what the polling sites were in 2020, but I think these are changes from 2018. In Dededo, again, at Okudu High School and at Liguan Elementary, depending on your last name. So precincts 18 through 18I, that is everyone with the last name beginning with A all the way through O. That's at Okudu High School. If your last name begins with P, all the way from P through Z, those are precincts 18J through 18N. You're at Liguan Elementary School. And at Jigo, there are 2 polling sites. If your last name, last name is beginning from A through M, that's precincts 19 through 19C. You're going to be voting at FBLG Middle. And last names beginning with N through Z, that's precincts 19D through 19F. You're at D.L. Perez Elementary School. D.L. Perez is the one on Gattinero, right? That's Gattinero? Okay. So those are the polling. So tell me, Danielle, is this going to be your first time voting? No, right?
No.
Okay. Are you excited about this election?
Yeah. This one I'm most excited for. Every other one is just, Mom, who do I vote for? Uncle Bill, who do I vote for? Dad, who do I vote for? Narrow it down. And
I wonder who Uncle Bill's going to vote for. We should probably call him and ask him what's up.
Yeah.
Uncle Bill, can you vote for?
Probably still going to say Gutierrez.
Yes, say you're still the one. Right in Carl Gutierrez. That's exactly what he'll say. This weekend, this is not news, but this is a shout out to a person very special to us. This weekend, one of our best friends, his daughter, threw him a birthday party, which was belated. His birthday was actually in late July, but he
caught COVID.
He came. Well, I wasn't gonna say that for medical privacy issues. Sorry, Pete. Pete Scro's birthday party was this weekend, and we wanted to do a shout out to Pete and show you the party that Eric and Zach missed out on because they didn't go. But it was a beautiful party. Do we have the picture, Zach? We're looking for it. It's okay. Don't worry. The shout out was enough. Oh, Johnny wants you to see her outfit from this weekend. Okay, Zach's got it. Zach's got the picture. It was over at the Ducit. And P.S. to all of you guys over at the Ducit, man, you guys make some really good food, and your customer service is amazing.
It was. They even got a little bag or a little stand for my hat.
I didn't even look at this picture to see if I looked fat, but I'm covering some of my fatness with that. Happy birthday, Pete. We love you very much, Pete. Where can we get today's in-depth stories?
You can get these in-depth stories on kanditnews.com.
Later today, I believe at 12 o'clock, Ken Leon Guerrero will be in studio for his live point of view, and he'll be talking about the current administration and the promises it has made and failed to deliver regarding medical care on this island. This past weekend, we had the second Kababayan Kasali Kayo Filipino talk show with the newest member of our family, Sally Aquino, and this weekend she'll be doing her third show at 7 a.m. on Saturday. Catch that live. Now we ask that you join us in turning our attention to 93.3 FM, The Point, The Ray Gibson Show, also on Facebook Live at The Point Guam and on YouTube Live at The Ray Gibson Show. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Good morning, Marianas.